What's up, everybody? If you're not following along on the main channel or the main videos, which I hope you are, but if you need a quick recap, Matthew chapter 8 was another good one. Tonight, Jesus has finished his Sermon on the Mount, and now he is doing his ministry. He starts off with healing a guy with leprosy. No one wants to touch him, but Jesus doesn't mind. Jesus heals the man with leprosy with just one touch. He then moves on from there, and he comes across a centurion soldier who has a servant who is sick and is paralyzed and is in a lot of pain. And Jesus says, "You want me to come heal him?" And the soldier's like, "I'm not worthy to have you in my house, but I know that if you speak it, it'll come true." And Jesus is pointing out this man's faith. And the fact that he knows who Jesus is. He knows that Jesus can heal his servant with just one word. And so Jesus does. And the servant is healed, as they say, instantly, just because of the soldier's faith. He then goes on and continues healing. He heals one of his disciples' mother-in-laws. And he drives out some demons. And this is all, Matthew points that all back to the prophecies from the prophet Isaiah. That were written hundreds of years before Jesus' time, just to prove to those that, hey, Jesus is exactly who he says he is, and here's why, to the Jewish readers, because this book was written with a Jewish reader in mind, but obviously it still applies to us. And then Jesus talks about the cost of following him, that you might not have a necessarily place to lay your head, as he says. And there might be things that you have to handle or that might need to be handled, but Jesus is asking you to not worry about those things, to seek him above all else. And then he goes, the disciples get into a boat to cross a lake, and the storms come, as storms always do in our life. The storm comes, the waves are crashing over the boat. It's probably a very dark and scary place for those disciples. Jesus, meanwhile, is at peace, and he is fast asleep in the bottom of the boat. The disciples wake him and say, "Hey, you got to wake up. We're going to die." And Jesus wakes up, speaks, and the waves and the storm stop, and the waters go calm. And that's the mic drop moment, where the disciples see this and they're like, what kind of man is this, that not only do these miracles that happen beforehand that we've witnessed, but even the winds and the waves obey him. When they actually do get out of that lake, and on the other side, some demon-possessed men approach Jesus, and the demons recognize who he is. They even call him the Son of God. So even Satan and his demons know who Jesus is. And they recognize him. And with one word, Jesus drives the demons out of the men. And they go into a herd of pigs. And the herd of pigs runs off a cliff into the water and drown, and all the pigs die. And then one of the saddest parts of the Bible, in my mind, is basically that region or that area, that town, rejects Jesus and asks him to leave because of what he did. So that's Matthew chapter 8. There is lots of examples of Jesus proving that he is the Son of God in this chapter, and there's also examples of faith and what it looks like to have that faith in God, and also an example of just the sheer power of God, that even the winds and the waves obey him, and the demons have to obey him with just a single word. Hope you guys are following along. Subscribe so you can get the full reading of the chapters as we go through them. Other than that, see ya.